Hello. So we began our research through looking at previous examples of real media in the gangster genre. We looked at films such as Eastern Promises, which is a London-based Russian gangster film, as well as films such as Gangster Squad and American Gangster. We analysed the conventions used in those films and tried to recreate them in the same sort of fashion to create an authentic piece of media. The conventions that we have found are opulent lifestyle, guns, violence, which is all expected of gangsters to do. And all these films have shown these sort of conventions.
So when we were actually doing our research and planning, we were heavily inspired by the trailer Eastern Promises and just the movie in general. We really liked how it was a London base and how there was kind of an ethnic touch to it, with it being a Russian movie.
We think he might be Russian mafia.
And he was a member of Vorev Sakonia. In Russian prisons, your life story is written on your body in tattoos.
So we decided to use this. We decided to make it also based in London and have some elements of the Polish lifestyle that our character Vlad had. We also use other conventions such as the iconography and the mise-en-scène. We made sure that our actors were dressed in the same way that other gangster movies are, especially in American Gangster. We used that trailer. We made sure that they were all dressed in suits or wore items such as like fedoras, and made sure that they really looked authentically gangster. We also used iconography such as guns to really portray like the violence within gangster films. And it was set in an urban area, which is also a main theme of the gangster movies that we have watched.
We also subverted some conventions of the gangster genre. Like for example, gangster films usually portray like older characters, like between like 20 and over, to be these kind of like gangsters that people fear. But we decided to do something different. We used much younger people, like teenagers, to create kind of like a moral panic, which links to like Cohen's study. We wanted the teenagers to be perceived as folk devils in a way, basically.
I think we've effectively shown different sorts of conventions, because there is a difference between the conventions used in films such as Eastern Promises, which has a more modern take of the Russian gangsters wearing leather jackets and all sorts of stuff like that. And we tried to balance this by showing both, by having exposition scene which does show the suits as well as a modern take of the gangster outfit, I guess.
We also subverted conventions by, again, having it a London-based film. As not many films that are marketed to the mainstream are really London-based or foreign. They're mostly Americanized and kind of follow the Italian crime family and crime scene instead of focusing on other types of crime. So we decided to kind of subvert that convention.
Following on, I think what most gangster films try to show is that crime does pay off, and this is a theme that we did show in our trailer. Looking at movies such as Eastern Promises, we see that they have a lot of success due to the crimes. And in our trailer, we have shown this by having a mob organization. The person lives an opulent lifestyle and he's very successful in what he does.
We also were inspired by the exposition scene in American Gangster. How the main boss, he was seen to be an extremely feared character, and that he had to deal with traitors within his own gang and had to conquer some consequences that he had.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Connor. It won't ever happen again. I swear to God.
You're talking to God, so you might as well swear to me.
And we also used that with Vlad, by him having to conquer being disowned by his father, and then trying to conquer being investigated, and essentially his whole empire being taken away from him.
You run this business. What more could you want?
It is not what I own. It is who tried to take it away from me. I have to protect what's mine.
We created the delusion that crime pays. It links to the hypodermic needle, and our target audience, because we targeted teenagers upwards. So people of a young age may actually buy into the fact that crime pays, like, whereas people who are older, they basically don't buy into this whole illusion that crime pays because they're older and they've gone through more, so they're able to understand. So this sort of trailer, like, it influences younger people to perhaps lead a life of crime. I don't know.
One more thing to add is I think that we have very successfully portrayed character development in the sense that we show an interlude of the younger days of Vlad's character. Leading to psychoanalysis approach, we can see that he had problems in his youth, and this influenced the way that he lives when he grows up. Killing his father, meaning he lost a role model which should have taught him how to behave in social environment, and that's why Vlad's character does these sort of gruesome acts, because he does not have this sort of ego which balances the right and the wrong. He doesn't really know what's right and what's wrong. He just does what he feels like to do.